Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Grisaia. Oh god. Makina's got a mouth. That still makes me laugh. But anyway, where's the infirmary? Amane, do you know?
その先を右。突き当たりまで行ったら左に行くと保健室があるよ。
Where's the hide? What is it? Is it Q? Right mouse? No, that's the load. Okay, never mind. Spacebar. Ah, it's spacebar. That is adorable. Oh, man. I actually really, when I did watch the anime a while back ago, I really did like all the characters. Some of them had a little bit weird styles, I guess. Not the worst thing, but I like the fact that, apparently, even though you guys can see in the bottom right corner, the frame rate's pretty good. Steam says I have 1 frame per second. That's a bit strange. Anyway. We'll be there soon. Try to endure it for the moment.
大げさだな。たかが捻挫だよ。
You say that, but don't make light of leg injuries. Soldiers get abandoned when they can't walk.
へえって。いや、まあ、そっか。そうだよね。怪我した子から死んでいくんだよね。
I feel like that last bit is slightly something to be concerned about. Don't worry, Japan won't desert you, and I won't leave you to die either.
ごめんね。私、重いでしょ。
Not particularly. 5 bags of rice or so at most.
ちょっと、なんで私の体重知ってるのよ。
I don't know how to feel about the fact that she knows how much 5 bags of rice is in weight. I'm used to carrying around heavy luggage on my back. I can estimate estimate weight from the feeling of my shoulders. Wow, that's interesting. I don't know if that's a very useful skill or not.
あのさ、おぶってもらっておいてこんなこと言うのもあれなんだけど、この場合ね、普通は全然重くないよとかさ、なんかこう女の子に対して気を使ったりするもんなんじゃないのかな。
I'm Kasumi Yuji. I'm not that way at all. You're lighter than I expected. Probably only looked heavy from your height and oversized chest. You've got long legs too. That must have thrown me off.
足が長いって褒めてくれてるのは嬉しいけど、なんか複雑。ちなみに私の体重ってどれぐらいだと予想してた？
My impression was that you'd be comfortably above 60 kilos.
そういうことを言わないの。
As she speaks, Amane sharply tightens her arms into a chokehold around my neck. Look, stop thrashing around. You'll be the one crying if I drop you. I come to a brief halt on the spot and lift Amane's body, which has been sliding down my back. Up more... I think I'm reading that a little too fast. I come to a brief halt on the spot and lift Amane's body, which had been sliding down my back, up more firmly around my shoulders.
そっか、今ならユウジ君、両手が塞がってるよね。
What are you planning, woman? In the next moment, Amane gently closes her eyes, still clinging tightly to my neck. She brings her lips close. Amane, please. Oi. I'm taking yeah, that sounds about right. I'd take an immediate... Oh, wait, hang on. I don't know why that bothered me. I usually read this, I'd take, but I guess that's not the case. I'd take an immediate evasive action in response to her suspicious movements, but Amane's lips nonetheless press against my cheek.
ジェ、避けられちゃったか。
I don't think we fully dodged. What the hell is wrong with this woman? I've got half a mind to drop her on the hallway floor, but we are dealing with an injured party here. I turned my head to the side to stare into Amane's face, finding her blushing in apparent embarrassment. She's the one that did it. thought I met her for the first time at the school, but maybe...
何よ、人の顔じっと見て。
It's nothing. Really? I mean, I know I could imagine a reason why, but still. I guess I don't know the full backstory. I only know what the anime showed. So, and you guys all know the anime doesn't always do the best job at that kind of stuff. So this will be exciting, definitely for sure, if I go down her route, or if I go down, well, really if I go down anyone's route, since I don't think really all of them got the full grasp here, or I guess the full coverage. I guess let's put it that way. No matter how long or how carefully I study Amane's features, nothing comes to mind. I was entertaining the possibility that she might have been some childhood friend I parted from in tears or what have you. But I'm pretty well convinced that that this is the case. Which would leave... Do I look like the lover you were tragically separated from in your previous incarnation? Is that it?
何それ、人を電波扱いしないでよ。っていうか、この学園でそういうこと言わないの。シャレにならないから。
Pouting her lips, Amane knocks a fist into my head with a solid thunk. What are you, anyway?
スオアマネ。
Yes, my short-term memory is perfectly fine, thanks. Every time Amane speaks, her soft breaths strike my ear. Is it just my imagination, or has her body temperature slowly been rising while I've had her on my back? If she suffered a partial fracture on that ankle, it might be that her body is beginning to generate a fever. Better get a move on. Again, lifting Amane further up on my back, I hurried to the infirmary. That'd be not good. Doc, emergency case, get a move on.
いや、ドクって。
Still carrying Amane, I push my way forcefully into the room and shout for attention. But there's no one here whatsoever, much less a doctor. Why isn't anyone here? Everyone take a break at once?
うちには保健の先生っていないのよ。とりあえずベッドの上で下ろして、あとは自分でやるから。
I guess there's only what, 6 of you? 7 of you? I think that's right. I don't remember that many people being there. That would make sense, I guess you don't have a lot of teachers. Or a nurse, or really anything. There's no doctor? You mean they haven't hired anyone at all to staff this room?
そういうこと。
Why would they? There's only like 6 people. For the time being, I lower Amane onto the nearby bed.
保健の先生が来るって話は前からあるんだけど、なかなかいい人が見つからないみたいでね。薬とかは業者の人が来てたまに入れ替えてるみたいなんだけど。
Well, at least they've got the medicine replaced. That's good. It'd be bad if they didn't do that. I don't know why, but her right ankle was kind of bothering me. I guess maybe it's because of the perspective here. I don't know. It just seems off for some reason. I mean, yeah, I get that she sprained it, but that's not what I mean, guys. It just seems like it's... You know how, like... You guys know how, like, anatomy can get weird, right? When looking at the specific camera angle, I guess. This is one of those times. The leg looks like it's not just a sprain, it's just, like, bent. It's been turned clockwise about 10 more degrees than it normally should be. Especially given her position right now. Just does not seem right. Ugh. Well, fine. I'll take care of the treatment.
できるの?
I learned first aid at my previous school. I can handle something like this at least. I kneel in front of Amane's leg, untie and remove her athletic shoe, then take her red swollen right ankle into my hand. I'm going to move it. Tell me if it hurts. Oops, went too many. Her ankle's slender, but compared to her uninjured left foot, it's clearly inflamed pretty badly. I bend Amane's ankle to various angles, carefully searching for the location of her injury. It's not fractured at all, but I think the ligament might be been stretched or the joint capsule ruptured. Taking a roll of medical tape from the infirmary's first aid kit, I loosely wrap it around Amane's ankle, restricting the range the joint can move. Then retrieve ice from the freezer, stuff it into a bag, and press it over the injury through a towel, relieving the heat of the inflammation.
ありがとう。ずいぶん楽になったわ。手慣れてるのね。
Well, just a bit. I'm accustomed to treating sprains and burns at least. When I was a kid, I was getting hit pretty much every day, and I still had to get my fair share of I still get my fair share of injuries even now.
やっぱり優しいね、ユージくん。
Spare me. How exactly am I a nice guy? I just treated an injury. Anyone would do that much.
そうやって冷たい態度を取るのは、私に優しいやつだって勘違いされると、甘えられて鬱陶しいから。
Ellipses. To be honest, Amane's words are pretty close to the bullseye. When human beings find kindness, they naturally take advantage of it. Before they realize it, they've grown dependent on that kindness. They lose their ability to function without it. If I disappeared, what would you do with yourself? My master spoke those words to me when I was still a child.
正直ね、保健室に着いた時点で、じゃあ俺は行くからって言われるのを覚悟してたんだけど、ユージくん、何も言わずに治療してくれたじゃない？驚いちゃった。
Alright then, I'll be going. We just leave her here. As I raise my right hand in farewell, Amane grabs my clothes firmly to prevent my retreat.
ちょっと、怪我をしてナーバスになっている女の子を一人にする気？もう少し一緒にいなさい。
Am I the only one who thinks that she should be slightly more nervous about being alone with a teenage male in this room? It's Amane. We've already walked into her naked like 3 times. She probably doesn't care. Which has a bed? When her leg is injured to the point that she can't walk. Oh god. Will you stop making these points? What do you want from me? If you have something to say, then just spit it out already.
じゃあ、はっきり言うけど。ねえ、私の彼氏になってよ。
Well, alrighty then. What?
聞こえなかったかな？もう一度言おうか？
Why are you saying this?
君のことが好きだから。
That's a little fast, Amane. Since when?
初めて会った時からずっと一目惚れってやつかな。なんか冷たい反応。私の言ってることを信じてないでしょ。
No, it's just me. Trust me. I'm not generally that, receptive. You could probably throw a grenade into the room next door, cause an explosion, and collapse half a building, and I still wouldn't bat an eye. I would just shrug it off and say it's a Thursday. Because I would do that. I'm Kazumi Yuji. Then let me ask, what part of me did you fall in love with?
そうね。なんかダメ男っぽいところ？私さ、こいつ、私がいなかったらどうやって生きていくんだろうみたいな、そういう男に弱いみたい。
She clearly doesn't know us that well. I see. Can't say I have a problem with reliable women myself.
あ、マジで？それって好都合じゃない？どうする？じゃあ付き合っちゃおうか。
I'm not gonna get a choice here, am I? I'm like, I don't think I'm prepared for choices yet, game. Don't give me these complicated choices. What does this girl think she's grinning about? Momentarily speechless with bemusement, I hold my right palm to my forehead and run it up through my hair. Look, is teasing me that much fun?
そういう言われ方は心外なんだけど。じゃあさ、彼氏がダメならお姉ちゃんになってあげるよ。
I swear to God, if you ara me, I will punt you out of a room. What?
優しくて綺麗なお姉さん欲しくない？
Just don't ara me. I regret to inform you that we're not hiring big sisters at the present time.
いつ募集するの？
We anticipate no vacancies until doomsday.
なんだよそれ。
That's my line, idiot. Setting my grip onto the, on the ice pack, I give Amane a slap on the ankle.
もう女の子いじめて楽しい
I was thinking we were gonna like do like the classic like anime donk on the head, but I guess the ankle works. Does it though? Let's see. If you make it a yes or no question, then yes. I think I'd be safely on the enjoy bullying girls side.
サディストかでも大丈夫私ってこう見えてもド M だから
Ah. I see. Just what do you want from me exactly?
ねえどうしてもダメなのなんか女としての自信なくすな
I'm not trying to reject you, but don't you think you're rushing things here?
時期尚早という言葉を使う人はきっと10年経っても同じことを言うよね
Oof. We're not talking about politics here.
だから彼女は諦めてお姉ちゃんになるって言ってるじゃないね
Starting off by asking for the sky, then dragging out concessions as a compromise in the negotiations. You really do think you're a politician.
そろそろ私も傷つくぞ
Ha. I drop my shoulders in an exaggerated gesture and heave a heavy sigh. Oh, that was a sigh. I read that as like a ha. like a sarcastic laugh, I guess. I'm sure this girl intends to continue this aggressive pursuit until I tell her what she wants to hear. It would be a serious pain in the ass if she tried to push me any harder than this. At a point of compromise, this is probably right at the limit of my tolerance. Yeah, got it. If you want to play the big sister that badly, I'll go along with it. If there was a mirror in front of me as I speak these words, I'd be staring into the face of a man with the word reluctant stamped on his forehead. No kidding. Might this have been a hasty decision? Indifferent to my shame and regret, Amane beams happily, dropping her hand on top of my head with a gentle thump, in grand big sister style.
ならばよろしいこれからはお姉ちゃんって呼ぶんだぞ
She umud. Oh god, she umud. I wasn't prepared for an umu. Don't think this means you can pet my head whenever you feel like. Although I don't go so far as to push Amane's hand away, I can't say this is an especially pleasant feeling. Dutiful and clever dogs, as a rule, don't wag their tails when someone other than their master pets their head. Ah. I don't think that's gonna happen again for a long time. Even then, I don't even think it's even possible now. I prefer eating my meals alone. It's just easier that way. For one thing, I don't have to go through the hassle of pretending to enjoy what I'm eating. In the first place, there's no cafeteria or lunch counter in this school. The facilities themselves apparently exist, but after all, you can count the number of students and permanent staff here on the fingers of your hands. Spending the money to run a lunchroom for the benefit of that small of a number of people would be completely inefficient any way you look at it. So then you might ask, how does lunch work at this place? It's a pretty simple system. When we arrive at the classroom in the morning, we can write our names into a notebook on a podium. Every lunch period, a supplier brings food to everyone who's signed up. Box lunch catering, as they call it. Of course, it's completely up to every individual student whether we take advantage of the catering. Because the menu is basically left to the supplier, it's possible to sign up only when they're offering something you want. Personally, I haven't asked for delivery even once. It's not that I'm worried about saving money, or that I can't trust food made by others. I don't have any religious principles against eating meat either. I'm just not interested enough in what I eat to bother. They say it's a common result of being raised in a food-poor environment, and considering the time I spent living together with my master and her crappy cooking, I guess it's only natural. A full stomach and adequate nutrition is all I need. Incidentally, the lunch I prepared for myself is 3 plain salt rice balls. My side dish was also a quick job. After frying onions and garlic, I threw them together to cook with some canned tomatoes and kidney beans, adding a packet of chili powder for seasoning. As my master used to say, humans ain't that fragile. You won't starve as long as you've got beans to eat. I mean, yeah, I can see that working. But I guess going with nothing but the basics is a bit too bleak for me. No point in living like a monk. So I've also brought an apple for dessert. Alright, not bad. You've hit most of your food groups there. Just the infamous, the infamous dairy, I think, is being alluded here. Kind of feels like I'm eating nothing but red stuff, but there's no point worrying about the meal's appearance. This is perfectly adequate for my needs.
Oi! Yuji!
And then we got Amane, who just cooks all her stuff, probably. So now she's dropped the honorific.
Nani?
Don't just call me Yuji, woman. Woman.
だって私お姉ちゃんになったんだし、弟にくんづけって変じゃない？
She's right, you know. I don't remember giving you permission to not use one.
禁止された覚えもないけど。
Okay, it's now forbidden.
もうなんて横暴なのかしら。なら私も交換条件出すわよ。
What do you want?
私のことお姉ちゃんって呼んだら呼び捨てにするのやめてあげる。
I'm gonna stick to calling you woman.
どうする？ゆうちゃん。
Now she's given us Chan. Spare me, not even my parents ever called me that.
いいからほれ呼んでみお姉ちゃんって。
Ridiculous.
なんだよその態度。だったら私も呼び捨てやめないぞ。
Do whatever you want.
そうするよゆうじ。
Not sure if she's trying to get a reaction out of us, or she just realizes we just straight up don't care. And? You need something?
いやなんか地味に一人でご飯食べてるからさ。ね、一緒に食べない？
No, I'll pass. Take your volunteer work to Machina. Why don't take your volunteer work to Machina? Why don't you? Oof.
もちろんマキナも一緒だよ。マキナ。お？呼んだか？呼んだけどさ、その言葉遣いはどうだろう。
Speak properly? What do you mean properly? Yondaka? Is it because you're doing informal with a ka particle?
お兄ちゃんもお弁当何食べてるのよさ。
I was just sitting like trying to process like how that was improper, but I guess it's I guess I don't know all the rules yet. Well, it makes sense. I've only done 2 years of studying Japanese, so.
聞いちゃいねえし。
Yeah, it's about right. That's a machina.
おにぎりとリンゴとこの赤いのは何？
Baked beans.
なんか美味しそうね。それ。
Want to try some? Why are you adorable?
もうそうやって何でも人が食べてるものを欲しがらないの。まるで普段うちで何も食べさせてないみたいじゃないの。
I don't think she was begging, but okay.
おみ、あまね、パンちょうだい。これ絶対パンと合う。聞きなさいよ人の話。お？じゃないわよ。っていうかあんたもマキナに何食べさせたのよ。
We just said it's baked beans. Whatever. Like I said, beans. She just had a mouthful. Hardly a big deal.
豆って。うわ、何？その40代の独身サラリーマンみたいに質素なお弁当。
Beans are nutritious. There's no problem.
結構美味しいのよ。
What? I like baked beans. What's wrong with baked beans?
どれどれ？
Hey, you don't just start eating my food.
確かに美味しいけど、これって缶詰だよね。
Well, the beans and the tomatoes, yeah.
私缶詰も大好きなのよさ。
And there she goes, eating it. Look, stop eating it already. This is all I've got.
缶詰といえば昔から不思議に思ってることがあるのよさ。みかんの缶詰ってどうやってあんなに綺麗に皮を剥いてるの？
They don't. They melt the skin off with acid and alkali. I actually didn't know that.
マジで？なんか体に悪そう。
Don't worry, the chemicals are neutralized and they wash the fruit with water after all. It's perfectly safe.
だったら安心なのよさ。
That's our food, Machina. Hey, this girl's already halfway through my lunch.
ごめん。お詫びにさ、私たちのお弁当を分けてあげるから。ね。
It's fine. Don't worry about it. I'm not desperate enough to start stealing other people's food.
まあまあ、いっぱいあるんだから遠慮しないでいいのよ。ほら。
What was that sound effect? Mitsuru, are you playing the trumpet in the corner again? Stop it. Stop it. With that exclamation, Mani brings out a huge wrapped lunch. Looks like she's actually got a number of boxes stacked on top of each other.
ほーら見てごらんなさい。これが食の彩りというものよ。
Opening the lid, she reveals a box packed with a rich variety of vividly colored side dishes. Practically indistinguishable from a delivery lunch from some well-established restaurant. I see. No wonder the neighborhood calls this place the Money Sink Academy. Pretty luxurious for a school lunch.
これ学校の仕出し弁当じゃないわよ。私の自作。
Seriously?
言ってなかったっけ？私の実家ってね、神田で京料理の料亭やってんだよ。
Kyoto food in the district of Tokyo?
うちとこのお母はんは京都の老舗料亭の娘やし、お父はんは神田の料理人なんよ。
I need to keep telling my mind. I don't know why I keep clicking right click. I need to like change, not hover my I wonder if the enter key works. We're gonna see if the enter key works. I hope it does, because I should probably not touch the mouse anymore. But yeah, what I was saying was I keep reading that last word as Canada for some reason. And yes, the enter key works, thank God. No kidding. So that's where Money's infrequent lapses into that weird Kansai accent come from. And come to think of it, the short-tempered, vaguely masculine side of her personality makes a lot more sense knowing that her father's from a blue-collar neighborhood like Kanda.
Amane ってばすっごいお料理上手なのよ。お肉が嫌いだからあんましお肉料理は作ってくれないけど、でもとっても美味しいのよさ。
You don't eat meat, Amane? Now that she mentions it, I don't see much in the way of meat dishes in her side of this box. Bit of a surprise. I had you down as a carnivore for such. Or for sure.
いやー、別にお肉を食べないわけじゃないし、料理もするけど、ほらね、お肉ばっかり食べてこれ以上大きくなってもあれかなーってさ。
What, your breasts get too heavy? Jeez.
身長よ。
You were very descriptive, so of course that leads us to think otherwise. Ah, well, I guess you can't exactly shed inches the way you shed pound or the way you can pounds. Ah, luckily, fantastic localization. You could say, I guess you can't exactly shed inches, or no, centimeters the way you can kilograms. Cutting back on meat now isn't going to make her any shorter, but if Amane keeps a careful eye on things, it might help them maintain the status quo. Bit of a reactionary approach, considering she's already pretty damn tall. But I guess that's just your typical passive Japanese mindset at work. I don't think I've actually seen the actual, like, height for these characters. Because, like, if Amane is really tall, and she's side by side with Makina right now, and Makina is barely shorter than her from this perspective. You know what I mean? I mean, it's clear. I mean, it's gonna be obvious that they're clearly not that different, or they're not clearly this like close to each other in height. I'm sure Makina is a lot shorter. I don't remember how short compared to like their overall characters in the anime, but I'm more than certain. But still, it'd be nice to kind of know the actual like centimeters. As JB once told me, there aren't many Japanese who go to the dentist before their teeth start to hurt.
やっぱり男の子はお肉はいいよね。今度また作ってくるから、今日はこれで我慢してよ。
I'm not a huge fan of meat myself. More importantly, I'll take care of my own food expenses, so you don't have to worry about my taste.
毎日マキナの分も用意してるし、今さら一人分ぐらい増えてもどうってことないから遠慮しないでいいんだよ。
Now they're both smiling. Oh dear God. So why are you so determined to stick your nose into my eating habits?
だって弟だし。
What?
だってお兄ちゃんだし。
I mean, Makina kind of self-imposed the whole, Moni-chan thing. Then there's Amane, but that's a different story. What? Oh God, they're in unison. I don't get it. In other words, they just want to play house? Maybe somebody, say the principal, ordered them to become friends with Kazumi-kun for some reason. Either way, I prefer to maintain some distance. I can't be as casual about this as a normal student might be. I have too many things I'd like to keep to myself.
だいたいさ、その若さでお昼がおにぎりと豆だけってひもじくないの？
I mean, to be fair, like, I can get why he doesn't want people to know about him, but at the same time, he can't just, like, completely isolate himself. I'm used to simple food.
そう、それそれ。その、いじめられるのには慣れているみたいなのもなんか悲しいじゃん。今までどんな食事をしてきたのよ。
Well, I don't know. Nothing special. When I was a young... The music just, like, died out there. It was weird. Anyway, when I was a young kid, I may not have gotten much in the way of luxury, but I ate normal meals. My current emphasis on low-effort, nutritious food is the product of the way that they did things at my previous school. Pardon my French, but at that place, the principle was eat fast, shit fast. I don't know why that's funny. Turn your mouth into a vacuum cleaner and then, I don't know. You guys could be colorful with the descriptions for the latter half there. In the morning, we were kicked out of bed at 6 a.m. sharp for roll call, exercise, and running. Then it was double time to the mess hall. You had a few minutes to eat breakfast. Take your time, and you'd get a dressing down from one of the seniors. So everyone stuffed whatever food they could grab into their mouth and forced it down their throats as fast as possible. Lunch was slightly different in that the sheer amount of food they gave us became a challenge. The piles of meat and vegetables would have been hard enough to handle alone, but they'd throw in a heaping bowl of rice as well. We were expected to cram all of that into our stomachs in about 10 minutes, washing it down with miso soup. Naturally, we weren't allowed to leave a scrap of food on our plates. Vomit it up and they'll tell you to push it all back down again. In other words, the taste wasn't exactly the first thing on our minds. I never enjoyed eating that much in the first place, so once my meals became outright painful, approaching food in a purely business-like fashion felt like the natural response. Nothing but rice and beans for lunch may seem sad to Amane, but I'm not fighting my friends for a can of food, and I've even got a fruit for dessert. By my standards, this is a high-class, elegant meal.
だいたいさ、その食べなきゃいけないから食べるみたいな顔、なんとかならないの？
No, probably not. I mean, maybe. Who knows? If my face is putting you off your food, I suggest you don't look at it.
もう、可愛 くないな。綺麗なお姉さんがお弁当を作ってあげるって言ってるんだから、素直にありがとうって言っておきなさいよ。
No thanks.
何よ。
Nothing. Yeah, you're right about this one. Sorry.
何、急に素直になったの。気持ち悪い。
She's like, ugh, no, don't stop. Keep rejecting it. Well, can't hurt to play along once in a while. To tell the truth, I had a similar discussion in the past with another pushy woman. Ended up turning into an outright fight. A certain busybody German had this habit of coming to the mountain cabin where I lived with Master, mainly to subject us both to shrill nagging sessions. She'd barge in, clean up without even asking for permission, make food nobody asked for, then leave just as quickly. I think the woman must have gotten sick pleasure out of it. One day in particular, I got pretty indignant when she put away some book I was in the middle of reading. Ended up firing off the line, "You're not my damn mom," with predictably unpleasant results. Well, it wasn't exactly the first time we'd fought, and it's true that I've found her incessant meddling annoying, so I honestly told her as much. Serious mistake. The woman in question, already a full-grown adult, spat out the supremely childish words, "Fine, see if I care." And then all the things, she broke down in tears, leaving me in a complete, bewildered panic. Since the disastrous experience, I learned a lot about how to handle women. The first lesson, knowing when to back down is crucial. Don't resist a woman's kindness. When a woman gets worked up, words won't get through to her. And the most troublesome lesson of all, women of the busybody type remember the smallest grudges through all eternity. And there you guys go. We've now learned very important things. I'm kidding. I'm happy you're willing to make lunch for me, but I don't feel like you have to do it every day. I'd appreciate it when you have the time.
ごめん。さ、別に私、親切の押し売りをするつもりとかじゃなくて、なんていうか。
I know your intentions were good, Amane. I don't have a reason to refuse that would... I don't have a reason to refuse that would satisfy her. Not one that I can bring up here, at least. Anyway, I'm not looking to make the atmosphere in the classroom awkward over something like this. As for Amane, I don't know how she interpreted my sudden change of tune, but she sounds downright contrite about her aggressiveness. We're both being mature about things all of a sudden. Guess the two of us are still capable of being reasonable with each other. Probably a good sign.
とにかくお弁当にしようよ。私お腹が空いたのよさ。
あんたユージのおかず全部食べちゃったじゃないの。
もういつの間に誰だ。
Machina, please.
いや、お前だろ。
Well, a healthy appetite is a good thing.
そんなこと言ってると、おにぎりもリンゴも全部食べられちゃうわよ。
リンゴはイチゴの次に好きなのよさ。ほほー、こいつはとっても美味しそうなのよさ。
I don't know how to feel about that.
あんた今朝リンゴ食べてきたでしょうが、意地汚いことしないの。
I don't really mind giving her the apple, but I thought you said Machina didn't have that big of an appetite.
まあ、なんというか食事のバランスが悪いのよね、この子。食べない時には全然食べないし、食べる時には人の3倍ぐらい食べちゃうのよ。
Yeah, that is a weird eating habit. Sounds like a bit of an exaggeration. I dropped my hand on Machina's head with a thump. Where would the kid be storing all this in this tiny body?
私もそう思うけど、実際食べるんだもの。ご飯食べた直後だってのに、お腹空いたって言い出したりしてさ。まあ、
そんな日もあるさ。
ねえよ。
What kind of monstrous metabolism does she have? Strange. Maybe she works like a mole or a rhino. Inefficient at absorbing energy from her foods, she has to keep stuffing herself or she'll starve to death?
話してると時間なくなっちゃうよ。 とにかくお弁当にしよう。マキナ、手伝って。
I don't know why I imagined a cow with like multiple stomachs, but that'd be kind of weird.
Oh!
Especially since our character's already called Amane the cow most of the time. For a second, I thought I saw a shadow fall across Amane's face, but she and Makina quickly get to work. They dragged nearby desks and chairs up to mine, creating one large island.
大したもんじゃないけどさ、遠慮しないで食べて。
Amane pushes one of the stacked lunch boxes at me. Inside, there's deep-fried tofu covered with red bean paste, accented with thinly sliced boiled daikon radish. Not to mention broccoli with sesame sauce, fried burdock root, Kyoto-style grilled mackerel, and chicken meatloaf. Huh. Together, they make an amazingly well-balanced and elaborate meal. Holding back at this point would be a downright rude. I figure for the food and extend my chopsticks to the sliced daikon radish. Amane's cooking is somewhat light on the seasoning. I'd noticed as much before when I had dinner in her room, but to my tongue, used to preservatives and artificial coloring, her food seemed extremely gentle. Probably because I hadn't eaten real home cooking in a long time. It tastes even better than I expected. Delicious.
なんて？
Amane, you really are an excellent cook.
だから何度も言ってるのよさ。アマネは上手だよって。
You gotta wonder though how much time she spends like making all this every day.
まあ、料理屋の娘だしね。っていうかさ、この前だって私の手料理食べたじゃん。
You probably made something different though. Yeah, true. The dinner in her room was a simple stew and the main ingredients were just some off-the-shelf fish products, so there really weren't any surprises. But this meal has the vaguely nostalgic essence of home cooking. The taste calls up faded memories of the meals my mother served me. Honestly, it's a bit of an emotional jolt.
うちの母親がね、アホでもおへちゃでもかましまへんけど、料理だけは覚えとかなあきまへんえってさ。子供の頃から料理はよく教わってたのよね。
I like how she has a different way of saying the I. Like, I don't care.
お兄ちゃん、私が食べさせてあげよう。卵がいい？はい。
Makina, please. No, I'll feed myself, thanks.
ほれ。
Looks like you're doing that and you're wanting us to put the egg. Even eating with others like this is a concession on my part. This is going way past ticklish and seriously into awkward territory. Makina thrusts the omelet towards my nose with a clumsy grip of the chopsticks. I instinctively pull back and turn a frank scowl in Amane's direction. Hey, Amane. Do something about this girl. Or so my glance was intended to convey, but instead, Amane bites her lower lip lightly and an irrepressible smile spreads across her face. Grabbing a kinpira burdock root with her chopstick, she presses it toward my face, which I turn away from Makina's attack.
はい。
Oh god, double trouble. Now we got double smiles. We got double smiles now. I feel like somebody died in the chat. If you're dead, press F. Meanwhile, I'm just gonna press X to doubt. Brutus. Etu?
こんなに可愛い女の子が両手に花状態であーんだよ。王様待遇じゃん。
そうなのよ。そろそろ空気読め。
I feel like we're being double teamed here. That's my line. Caught between a rock and a hard place, theoretically I should gain distance, then suppress each target individually. Step 1, I need a chance to take evasive action. How to create some sort of distraction. Or have to create. Everyone in this room is now a potential weapon of last resort. My frantic gaze settles on Sakaki, sitting alone in silence, picking food from a catered lunch with her chopsticks. Sakaki, I'm begging you. As Sakaki glances towards us out of the corner of her eye, I send her a desperate SOS with my gaze. Her silent message follows. Please don't think you're going to drag me into this. A truly cold and heartless answer, as expected of Sakaki. A brief, please try to eat a little more silently from your mouth could save a life, and you abandon me? Is this the way Miyama Academy's management treats its students? I've just witnessed with my own eyes the tragic moment. Long years trusting into a superpower's umbrella, forbidden from developing a military, still shedding blood and sweat in defense of our nation. All come to naught. Sakaki, my friend and ally, in the end was I nothing to you but a shield against the menace of Amane and Makina? A sacrifice to suffer in your place when the time came? No reason to despair, Kazumi Yuji. From the start you were a mere pawn in the great game. A dog kept alive on the whims of your masters, and you threw away the right to expect mercy from God a long time ago. Didn't you know as much? It's too late now to think of the national interest. All that's left to me is to embrace this moment of reckoning, endure the unendurable, suffer the insufferable, find the cool serenity of still water.
こういうの鬱陶しいかな。
What?
こういうさ、私の押し付けがましい仲良しごっこに付き合うのって正直しんどいと思うし、そっとしておいてほしいとか鬱陶しいって思うかもしれない。
Now she's second guessing herself. Rip.
でもさ、私はこういうやり方しかできないし、他の方法が思いつかないのよ。
Oh, right.
ユージの過去に何があったかなんて知らないし、知ったところで何もしてあげられない。ましてや同情するつもりもない。されるだけ惨めだって知ってるしね。これはさ、私が私を慰めるためにやってるエゴだから。悪いけど我慢しなさい。というか諦めて。わかったら、はい、口を開けて。
She's just expecting us to pull out the white flag. This Suamane woman is too clever at times. When she puts it like that, no matter how badly I want to escape this situation, there's no way I could bring myself to run away. That ruthless way she cuts off my path of retreat is nostalgic in a way. Reminds me of my big sister. Then again, compared to Kazuki, I imagine Amane's methods are almost charming. As that thought passes through my head, the tension naturally drains from my body and I let my mouth fall open. Nick! The kinpara she throws in my mouth, that has that same simple light seasoning. The same taste of home.
おいしい?
Yeah. The food is good, to be sure, but what's with this stifling feeling? The soft taste of home cooking, a meal spent with others. I understand this feeling of harmony to be a kind of happiness. And in counter-reaction to the peaceful atmosphere, a dark thought spreads through my mind. I shouldn't be sitting here. My chest feels tight, drawing breath is uncomfortable. I'm off balance. I know exactly why. I've spent 1.5 years since my master's death keeping my distance from others. In that time I've grown starved for this sort of contact. And I don't want to admit that to myself because that means facing the question. Do I deserve an ordinary life? I guess now that you think about it, when you do consider his past and just how he is in general, that actually does make a pretty good question. There's a whole, that's like a whole other thing on himself. I wonder how he answers this, or how he considers answering it. Do I have the right to an everyday routine existence, living for small moments of happiness?
いいんだよ。
Huh?
だから、私の分も食べていいんだよ。
Yeah.
そうなのよ。男の子なんだから、いっぱい食べて、まるまる太らないとダメなのよさ。はい。
I don't think it would be good for his occupation, for him to be nice and plump, Makina. Look, I told you I can feed myself. I've got to get used to this sort of thing sooner or later. I want to believe that, but there's a part of me that can't. Even now, there's a nagging discomfort in the corner of my mind. There's always a side of me that accepts and that side of me that denies. And in a fight, the side that denies always comes out on top. I guess that's the first thing I should try to fix about myself. Is there a reason I can't stay broken? An obvious question, but I think I'll leave it for another time. Yeah. We can't have all the character development happening at once. Just like any other school, the start of recess period here means that someone runs off to buy drinks for the group. There was a similar system at my previous school, so the event itself is familiar. The fact that our designated gopher puts on a maid uniform for the task, on the other hand, is still going to be taking some time to get used to.
それではお飲み物のご注文を受けたまわります。なんかいつも悪いわね。じゃあ私は冷たい緑茶で。
Amane, that would be green tea.
いえ、自分の分を買いに行くついでですから。あまねさんは冷たい緑茶ですね。かしこまりました。じゃあ私はミルクティーね。はい、みちる様はミルクティーで受けたまわりました。私はレモンティーを。
There's so many different types of teas.
はい、いつもの無糖のものでかしこまりました。風見さんは何になさいますか？
I'm curious how we respond. What's available?
はい、大抵のものは何でも取り揃えてございます。
What's available within reason? In that case, I'll have university. I just made a pun. I mean, he made a pun. Unless that actually is a T. God damn it. Thought I'd keep the tea combo going.
いや、ねえからそんなお茶。
Hold the gum syrup.
ねえっつってんだろ。なあ。
Sachi somehow comes back with university and that doesn't have gum syrup in it. Amane, her jaw just either her jaw just straight up drops to the floor or she has this surprised Pikachu face.
University?
It's a pun. It's a pun. Do you get it? No, she didn't get it. She doesn't get it.
あのね、さっちゃん。そうやって何でも理解しようと努力するのはあんたのいいところでもあり悪いところよ。ユージもさっちゃんは真面目なんだからさ、変な冗談で混乱させないの。
私はシンクロニシティで。
There you go, Machina.
ほら見なさい、頭の悪い子が真似してるじゃないのよ。
True, my bad. Poor Sachi. But when you offer me anything, I think it's only natural to want to explore the limits. Okay then, I'll go with water. Make mine non-carbonated.
炭酸抜きですか？要は普通のミネラルウォーターでしょ？あ、はい、それならわかります。マキちゃんは？
じゃあ私は牛乳を。炭酸抜きで。
I think milk's already non-carbonated, but whatever.
いや、最初から入ってねえし。つか、なんでちょっとかっこよく言おうとした？今。
I feel like Machina needs some deal with it glasses.
お兄ちゃんの真似。問題ない。
You're missing a few things, Machina. Don't worry. I'll fix it for you in the power of editing, maybe.
モノマネは微妙だし、言ってることがむちゃくちゃだし、どこから突っ込むべき？
Why the glare in my direction?
あんたのせいでしょが。
I have no idea what you're talking about.
つまり普通の牛乳でいいのかな？
一番うまいの買ってきて。
うん、わかった。それじゃあ一番美味しいの買ってくるね。
With those words, Sachi picks up the hem of her skirt and bows to us, then quietly leaves the classroom.
まったくもう、最近のマキナってば何でもユージの真似したがるのよね。
Not everything. She's been still doing some of the things that you've been doing.
まあこの子は昔から人の影響を受けやすいからね。ぶっちゃけ口が悪いのだってあまねからの伝染だし。私別に口悪くないもん。ただ思ったことは口にする、不満を溜め込まないタイプってだけで。
I just don't know how to feel about the fact that she literally like exploded last episode.
だからそれが悪影響を生んでいると言っているのではなくて、まあそれほど悪いことだとは思わないけれど。
まあね、ここに来た当時のことを思えば確かに今の方がまだマシなのかしらね。
What? Was the girl even worse when she arrived here?
そんなことはないのよ。ただなんつうか
昔はもっとおとなしかったっていうか、それこそ借りてきた猫みたいに誰にも懐かなかったし、誰とも喋らないでずっと一人でお人形遊びしてるような子だったのよ。
Gotcha.
もう昔の話はもうええがな。
I mean, it's actually kind of a good thing. It means you've changed a good amount, which is, like I said, good. That's good. The sudden like drop in the music volume is strange when this happens. Anyone has a thing or two in their past they don't want others to know about, and if you're attending a school like this, merely touching on the subject is probably enough to make some old wounds ache. There seems to be an established principle of mutual restraint when it comes to these sore spots. Our conversation shifts fairly smoothly away from the details.
結局何が言いたいかっていうと、昔の触れたら壊れそうなマキナに比べれば今の方がマシってことなのよ。
自分じゃあんまり変わってないつもりなんだけどな。
そう？最近はお豆腐も食べるようになったじゃない。豆腐？ほら、この子ってばひどい偏食家でしょ。気に入ったものしか食べないっていうか、果物とパンしか食べないような子だったのに、最近は何でも食べるようになったじゃない。
Yeah, it would be a good idea if she did diversify a bit there.
だってお兄ちゃんが。
Having favorite foods is fine, but don't reject something you haven't tried. At least eat some before you decide to hate it.
って言うんだもの。
Experience is the most useful possible form of knowledge. A precious privilege reserved for those who manage to stay alive. Sometimes the most instructive and memorable lessons of all come from the deaths of your comrades. But I wasn't trying to preach to Amane or make any complicated argument about her values. I just wanted to get across that ignorance isn't something you should cling to proudly. You're only embarrassing yourself when you insist that you hate some food you've never eaten.
食わず嫌いがなくなるのは正直ありがたいけど、どうにもおかしなところまでユージに似ていくのはどうなんだろう。
Yeah, that is. I mean, if you've said she's just been having bread and fruit, then beans is definitely an improvement. Especially with, I think it was like beans and onion. There's some chili powder in there. For example?
だから言葉遣いだってば。なんか最近のマキナ少し言葉遣いが横柄っていうか、やけに尊大なのよね。誰に似たのかしら。
Stares at Amane. You're blaming me?
だって他にいないもの。
Hey, Makina, it seems like you've been coming off as a little arrogant lately. Better watch your step, got it?
心得た。
I'll take that as a yes.
いや、だからそれがダメだっつってんじゃん。
なんだとこの野郎。
Uh-oh.
なんで喧嘩腰よ。
まあこの子が他人の影響を受けやすいのは今に始まったことではないし、ポジティブな面を考慮すれば何でもかんでも押さえつけるのは良くないと思うけど。
I mean, it's... That kind of thing's a good and bad thing, Yumiko.
たまにいいこと言うのよさ。やっぱ押し付けられる息苦しさを知ってる女は言うことが違うのよさ。さすがだね、よしこ。
誰がよしこよ。私は由美子。勝手に「ゆ」を省略した上に読み方を変えないで。
I don't know why I kept expecting to be like, Kami mami da. Or like, you know, I stuttered. I don't know why that. I don't mind me making references here.
え、そんなに怒ること？
なんとかこういいところだけ真似させるってできないのかしらね。
Ideally, yes, but you can't always get that. I think the problem is with the samples she's working off of, to be honest.
あんたがそれを言う？
I was probably saying that to insult myself, too. Just saying, Amane.
今の私がこうして元気でいるのもみんなのおかげなのよ。アマネーからは無駄な明るさを学んで、ユミちゃんからは本を楽しむことを通じて学ぶってことを教わったし、サッチンからは努力とか簡単に諦めない心ってのを学んだし。
And you've almost got the double, you're doing the double tails kind of hairstyle from Mitsuru, probably.
お兄ちゃんからは生きるための強さ
I feel like
そんなのを学んだのよさ。
I feel like Mitsuru's gonna be like, what did I do?
今んとこ学ぶところのないのはチルチルぐらいなのよ。
Or that.
ちょっとそれどういうことかな。学びなさいよ、私からも。ツンデレとか。
Gotta be a little soon for the today.
何のためにっていうか何のとこが。
Oof, shots fired.
素でポカンとしながら私の生き様全否定するのやめてもらえる？
大丈夫、ちゃんとチルチルからも学んでるのよ。反面教師として。
何よそれ。やっぱあんた私のことバカにしてんでしょ。
でも好き。
はあ？
チルチルのこと大好きだよ。だから大丈夫。
そうなんかよくわかんないけど、そうなの？
Not sure if she slightly broke the tsundere character there.
どう？散々バカにしておいて最後に好きって言って全部チャラにすんの。これってツンデレ？
I see what she did there. Clever.
あんたやっぱムカつく。
でも好きなのは嘘じゃないのよ。チルチル一緒にいると面白いし、バカだけど。
そうですか。それよござんした。どうもありがとね。もうバカって言うな。バカって言う子がバカなんだからね。
Oops, the break's already over.
あれ、さっちゃん遅いわね。何かトラブルでもあったのかしら。
I'd hope not.
電話してみればいいのではなくて。
もしもし、さっちゃん、今どこにいるの？
Did she go to a farm to get milk?
駅のホーム？何してんのそんなとこで。はあ？北海道？なんで？ちょっといいから絞りたてとかそこまでしないでいいから。
She's going to a farm to get milk. I figured that was what's about to happen. What's this? What happened?
なんかさっちゃん、一番美味しい牛乳を手に入れるとか言って北海道まで行って自分で牛乳絞ってくるって。
That would explain it. That woman's devotion knows no limits.
とにかく今すぐ戻ってきて。は？飛行機のチケット？そんなの空席待ちとかしないでいいからね。北海道まで行かなくてもスーパーに行けば北海道って書いてある牛乳売ってるからそれ買って帰ってきてね。
Okay, I think I might have been right about this one. Makina's personality getting warped might have been inevitable, considering the references she's working from here. Well, not to say that I'm any exception. Oh my gosh. Oh man. It's funny though. It adds. It's like she's trying to be like a melting pot of every character, which is kind of hilarious. It also does kind of show how like all those personalities that she's being influenced by can all clash with each other and do some hilarious things. But anyway, guys, that'll be all for this episode of The Fruit of Grisaia. Hope you guys enjoyed this longer episode. This is about what you guys were probably wanting for episode lengths. These will take me a little bit longer to edit. Don't worry too much about that, but there's a few little, tweaks and bits I wanted to definitely, add in here for sure. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next live stream or video that I do. Until then, I'll catch all you guys again later on.